Alright, in this chapter, we start by installing the latest version of OpenFOAM. Open a browser, then go to Google and search for OpenFOAM. You will see different websites and results. As you know, OpenFOAM has different branches and variants, developed by groups like OpenFOAM.com and the Foundation. In this part, we want to install the OpenFOAM release. This one comes from OpenFOAM.com, so let's go to their site. We covered this in earlier lessons. So I go to the download section. Since I am using Linux, I click Linux. Once the page opens, it shows me the installation options. The first section at the top is the precompiled option. Let me close this update first. This is the precompiled option. That means you take a package that has already been compiled and checked. Then you set the environment and use it. You also have options to install OpenFOAM fully yourself and compile it yourself. For convenience, I will use the first option. I want to bring the precompiled package onto my system, so I make the browser a bit smaller. Then I open a terminal. Once the terminal opens, we want to install this precompiled version. My operating system is Ubuntu, so I click the first option. On the page that opens, it clearly explains the easiest installation method. In practice, you just need these few lines. Copy those lines, run them, and OpenFOAM will be installed on your operating system. To start, let me copy the first line, paste it here, and press Enter. Now I get the first error. The curl command was not found. You can see that the command we ran uses curl. Since curl was not available, the installation could not continue. So we have to fix that first. So before I can move on, I first need to install curl on my system. It already tells me how to install curl. The command is sudo apt install curl, so let's run that. Now we start the installation. The slash is missing there, but the command is sudo apt install curl. I wait for the installation to finish. Of course, this depends on your internet speed. After that, I return to the previous command. I could copy the command again. Another option is to use the arrow keys on the keyboard. For example, I press up arrow to revisit the previous commands. Then I find the first OpenFOAM install command and run it again. Now this command is running. While it runs, let's see what it is actually doing. Above each command, there is a comment that explains it. This one adds a repository to my system. After it finishes, it tells me the repository setup is complete. Then I go to the next step, which updates the repositories on the system. So I copy, paste, and wait for the repository update. After that finishes, it tells me all packages are now installed. There is also a small error, but at this stage it is not important. So we continue. The important part is that the package lists are read and installed. The next step is to install the OpenFOAM version we want. On this site, OpenFOAM 2412 is listed, but you can also install OpenFOAM 2512. To follow the commands here, I will install both versions for you. This is just to show you the process. First, I install OpenFOAM 2412. It moves forward, lists the package, and asks whether it should be installed. It will take some disk space. If you want to continue, type capital Y and press Enter. Then the installation starts on the system. As it proceeds, different packages are unpacked. For example, right now it is installing the OpenFOAM tutorials package. Those components are placed on the system and loaded. How long this takes depends on your internet speed. The download and installation can take different amounts of time. Mine is done now. Usually, I run the last command one more time. I run the apt-get install OpenFOAM 2412 command one more time. This is just to make sure all modules and packages were placed on my system correctly. When I run the command again, it starts reading through the lists again. Then it checks one by one whether everything is fully installed on the system. When it shows done at the end of each line, that means it was installed correctly. OpenFOAM is now on my system. The only thing left is to load its environment. As you can see here, I just need to type OpenFOAM. Then I add the version number, which here is 2412. So if I run OpenFOAM 2412, that command loads the corresponding OpenFOAM session. Here it shows where the loaded OpenFOAM is located and which group it belongs to. It also prints different details and explanations. It tells me this is OpenFOAM 2412, which build it is, and which platform it uses. It also tells you how to leave this session. Here, you just type exit in the terminal. Now, just to test that OpenFOAM was installed correctly, I run a known command. What I expect is simple. OpenFOAM should load. And you can see that it does load. Later, we get an error because this is not the run folder. I only wanted to confirm that OpenFOAM was installed correctly. So now I exit. Then I clear the terminal. As I said, we already installed OpenFOAM 2412 here. With exactly the same method, we can also install OpenFOAM 2512. So now I can type OpenFOAM 2512 and install it. But before we go into that, let me first check the installation folder. So in the terminal, I check where OpenFOAM was installed. I type OpenFOAM and use which. The which command tells me which OpenFOAM command is being loaded. When I type OpenFOAM 2412 in the terminal, it points me to usr/bin, so I go there and look for it. In usr/bin, I look for OpenFOAM. This is the shell script that loads it. Inside this shell, it tells me where the OpenFOAM I am executing is stored. So I need to go into the library folder. Then I go into the OpenFOAM folder. There, as you can see, I only have OpenFOAM 2412 installed. Now I come back because I want to install OpenFOAM 2512. So once again, I copy this line. Then I only change the last number, which is the OpenFOAM version. When we say OpenFOAM 2512, we mean the release from the year 2025. And month 12 means December. At the time of this recording, this was the latest OpenFOAM version. This was the newest release available when I recorded this video. I type OpenFOAM 2512, press Enter, and the installation begins. Again, it asks whether I allow these files to be installed on the system. Type capital Y, press Enter, and continue. Then give it some time to download the different packages and install them on your system. As the process goes on, different packages are downloaded and placed on the system. Here I notice something important next to the OpenFOAM 2412 folder. A new folder called 2512 is created there. Different OpenFOAM folders are being placed inside it. Those files go into the OpenFOAM 2512 folder. I can keep all the OpenFOAM versions that I install together in one place. That gives me better control over the versions I have installed. I'll let the download and installation finish completely. Give it some time. Once the download finishes, I do one more quick check. Just to make sure the packages were listed and downloaded correctly, I run the last command once more. For all the commands that run, I receive done, which means they all completed correctly. Now, to load OpenFOAM 2512 in this terminal, I just type the command. That loads its shell for this session. I type OpenFOAM 2512. Earlier, for OpenFOAM 2412, we used the same pattern. We typed OpenFOAM 2412. Here we type OpenFOAM 2512 and press Enter. OpenFOAM loads, and it shows me the basic session details. It shows the version and build number. It also reminds me how to exit this session. Then I run icoFoam. When I run icoFoam, the OpenFOAM environment loads. The environment loads. It tells me OpenFOAM is loading and shows the build number, but we are not in the proper OpenFOAM run structure. So we see an error. This test was only there as a quick check. It just confirms that OpenFOAM was installed correctly. Now we can either type exit and leave, or continue inside this OpenFOAM 2512 session. We want to build this tutorial series on this version. It is the latest version, so now let's set up the environment. Now let's set up the environment for this version. Type run in the terminal and press Enter. If the structure is correct, it should take us to the run folder. That should be the user folder for running cases. But here it tells me that no such folder exists. So where should I create this folder? One option is to create it here directly. For example, I can create that folder inside my home directory. For example, Home, Abecator, OpenFOAM, and then Abecator 2512. As I told you, the run command should take us to that run folder. That is where we should do our work. And the reason is simple. OpenFOAM needs a proper structure for use and execution. It also helps keep user files separate from the main OpenFOAM files. So it is recommended that we create two environments. One environment is where OpenFOAM itself is installed. We already saw folders for OpenFOAM 2512 and 2412. The user creates the other folder inside the home directory for created or modified files. That way, those files are placed and run there. Then we have two separate folders, so the original OpenFOAM version is never touched. That keeps the main installation safe from unintended changes. If you run the run command, it should normally take you to the user folder. But because I have not created that folder yet, I cannot go inside it. I cannot enter it with this command, so I will create it now. First, OpenFOAM. Then Abecator -version. Then I add the version number I want, and the last item is the run folder. That gives me the full run path. Now if I run the run command again here, it goes into that folder. So now the run command works correctly. To make sure we are inside it, I run dear test. This creates a test folder for me. I do not need it now, so I remove it. Good. Now we have created our run folder. We try to run everything inside this folder. That way, it does not get mixed with the main installation. Another useful step is to add this user folder, Abecator, to the commonly used section. That gives you quick access. You can do the same with the OpenFOAM folder. That means I can go back to the main library directory. Then I can pin the OpenFOAM version I use most often there. I could pin OpenFOAM 2512 specifically, but I usually pin the main folder instead. So I pin the main OpenFOAM folder. As we continue in this training series, we will explore more advanced OpenFOAM topics. We will explore more advanced parts of OpenFOAM together. We will also see how to use this software more efficiently.